Thanks very much for the introduction. Yeah, so we've just spun out HawkHill Therapeutics from HawkHill Therapeutics, and as you can see, we're looking to focus on muscle-sparing anti-obesity drugs, which are quite hot at the moment. And we want to do this with a once-a-day oral pill to move 2 generations away from where we are today with Wegovy and injectable GLPs. So to tell the story of HawkHill, I really kind of have to tell the story of, hey, how did we get here and what's happened in the last few years. So we are a spin-out company from the University of Dundee, spun out my research group within the drug discovery unit that we have up in Dundee. For those who don't know, Dundee has a 120 scientist strong drug discovery organization built within the university, very much like a biotech. It delivers drugs, not academic papers. So it's quite unique in terms of scale and quality. And when we spun out 2020, we actually kind of one of the unusual things is we've only raised 3 million seed investment. So just one second. And the reason we've only raised that amount of money is we didn't need to raise any more money. So when we spun out, we had a topical pan-BET inhibitor. So it's nice to see a BRD4 shown just earlier. So as many people know, the BET inhibitors are very effective in cancer, but they have very serious side effect problems that have limited their progression. And we felt that there was an anti-inflammatory biology that was being underappreciated. And also we observed that there weren't any side effects in the skin. So what we did was we developed a compound that was rapidly cleared from the bloodstream. So you bypassed all the systemic problems, but you had this localized skin effect. And then we demonstrated in human tissue models that we had a broad spectrum steroid-like profile against Th1, Th2, Th17 inflammation. It's got anti-fibrotic effects. And then we licensed that product to a US company called Biotech Therapeutics. So they've now taken that through into the clinic. They've shown proof of concept in vitiligo, and it's just about to read out a phase 2b any day now, actually. We should be hearing about that. So we've got a lot of hope that this will actually make it all the way to the clinic. It's a really exciting molecule. And then Vine took an option to a very early stage project, basically an idea, and alongside the investment we'd raised, we were able to fund this second program. So here we delivered a selective BET inhibitor. So very few of these have ever been discovered. This compound is 10,000-fold selective. It's more potent than secukinumab in IL-17 models in cells. Vine have licensed this as well, and they're dosing at 0.5 milligram a day. So from a chemistry perspective, it's about as perfect a molecule as you can do. Again, we're really excited. Other companies are taking selective BET, so BD2 selective BET inhibitors into oncology. We again stayed in inflammation. We didn't want to follow and try and compete with other players, and demonstrated that it had this really, really potent anti-inflammatory autoimmune biology. And that molecule has dialed out pretty much all of the side effects that people have been concerned about for decades with the BET compounds. So at this point, we actually finished everything we originally planned to do as a spin-out company. And together with the board, we agreed that we would go back and look for some new projects. My job in Dundee University was quite unusual. I saw a lot of programs. And one of the programs I co-led was a very unique technology. So we have molecules that can bypass premature stop codons and restore the whole gene. So it's kind of like the dream of what gene therapy can do. We've now completed drug discovery in this third program. We have an oral molecule, can be given once a day, working in animal models, and can deliver like the whole gene systemically. So you don't have all of the distribution problems of gene therapies. You don't have the rather sad fatalities that we're seeing with some gene therapies at the moment as well due to immune system issues. So this asset we're looking to either out-license to a development partner or potentially spin out into another company and build a clinical development team around that project. But yeah, so we've grown organically in the absence of a VC, which has been really nice, given us a lot of flexibility. So having finished that third project, we went back and we were the same question. We've got this team that's delivered 3 candidates in 4 years, really efficient, working well together. So what do we do with that team? So this is where HawkHill comes in. So HawkHill is a spin-out company from HawkHill Therapeutics, focused on obesity. So we've licensed a project that we ideated within HawkHill, so self-ideated project that is muscle-sparing and obesity. I'll tell a little bit about kind of what we're doing a little bit in future slides. Just spun out kind of uniquely, I think, for a brand new fresh company, the whole of the drug discovery team's moved on. So taking that drug discovery team, all that track record, moved into the new co, but now we have a clean vehicle for investment. We wouldn't have been able to raise investment to do this new project within TAE because we've got so many different assets and different valuations. So most people will be aware of Wegovy. It's before your travel.
You know my opinion.
That's it. 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
I see, it's like that, isn't it?
Taking the views.
Yeah, so Wegovy is changing the world. These drugs, these anti-obesity drugs are totally changing healthcare because, unsurprisingly, when you make people slimmer, you start resolving all these obesity plus conditions. So diabetes, heart disease, liver fibrosis. I mean, obesity is associated with cancer. There's neurodegeneration trials ongoing with GLPs. And that obesity plus market is huge, and it's going to rival oncology, probably in the mid 2030s, and even by the early 2030s, it'll be over 100 billion in size. But the GLP-1 drugs do have some problems. So they're basically starvation drugs. You take these drugs, you stop eating, you kind of lose your appetite, you get rapid weight loss, which is great. But when people stop taking the drug, you get a rebound, much like with diets. So it's kind of operating like a chemical diet. And the big concern is that about a third of the weight loss is muscle. So there's this large loss of lean mass when people take these drugs. What's happening? What's the gap? Is this gap at the end here where people rebound? Is that the lean mass? And the market's been driven in large parts by young women taking this, who might do this cosmetically, decide to stop, rebound, put on the fat, not the muscle, and then what happens in 3 or 4 cycles? When they've lost loads of lean mass and they're maybe in a terrible metabolic position. You can plot the efficacy of these drugs against that lean mass loss. So, and there's a correlation. So the more potent GLP-1 drugs are not going to get around this problem, it's just going to do it faster. So there's a big need to try and find something that can maintain that healthy muscle tissue, basically. So I can't tell you anything about the target, and I can't tell you anything about how we're going to go about this. But we have a target that is genetically validated. It comes with some clinical evidence as well that's really strong. We're taking a very differentiated approach compared to the handful of competitors that there are out there, but it's a very novel target in general. And importantly, it would have standalone efficacy. So we believe we could achieve about the same weight loss, so fat loss, as semaglutide, but without the muscle loss. And excitingly, we think we could work in combination. So there's no reason to believe we can't do a combination of GLP-1s. You might be able to achieve something like 40 or even 50% fat loss with negligible muscle loss, which would be, I think, a dream scenario. This project's seen huge interest in pharma, and partly because it's a great market, but I think because we've also got a team with a track record and we've picked a winning project. We've come up with an idea that is absolutely right in the sightlines of the big pharma companies. Yeah, so we're out raising at the moment. Second, sorry. Yep, I'm too far. Yeah, so we're looking to raise about 16 million investment to fund 2 complementary projects. We have initiated the very early stages project, but we will need investment to be able to take this all the way to candidate. TAE can't fund the whole of this drug discovery program. Ideally, we'll just raise all of that money in one shot, but we're also looking quite seriously at doing a pre-seed. So I think there's an opportunity for early stage investors to come in at quite an attractive valuation before this hopefully takes off and starts to ramp up. Lots of opportunities to work with industry. We are in serious conversations with multiple pharma VCs who may come into the round. There's collaboration options, flexible ways that we could engage with those companies. But I think perhaps more importantly, there's really good opportunity for an early exit. So there's 2 novel deals slightly underneath the screen sharing bit, but there's 2 novel deals that happened in the last few months. One was nearly $1 billion, another was 2.2 billion. And these are for multiple projects in principle, but really the lead asset was 1 discovery stage project for each of those. And they weren't even a candidate. They were early in the discovery project. So there's the appetite is, I think, is really exceptional in this space right now. Yeah, so very happy to tell people more, especially in the investors one-to-one. So feel free to reach out and get in touch, and I'll answer any questions there are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Very interesting. One of the most common side effects for those weight loss drug is GI symptom, nausea, diarrhea. It's quite early stage, it looks like it. Do you know whether they will create a similar side effect? Because that's why people give up in clinical trials. There's too much nauseating and diarrhea, and how do you know your drug's going to be any different?
Yeah, so we do have, there's evidence behind this. So we don't think people will lose appetite. So we think people will continue eating. The weight loss mechanism is not related to calorie restriction. There's no loss of appetite. So yeah, it should be very complementary or potentially competitive.
So if they don't lose appetite, how do they stop eating?
You don't stop eating, but you lose the calories. So there's lots of people looking at different mechanisms. There's metabolic poisons effectively that do futile cycling. It's not that. There are people who are looking at brown fats, so thermogenesis. The problem is that they don't translate well into clinic. We're not doing that. But there are other approaches so our approach is directly targeting adipocytes, triggering preferential burn of fat with other calorie sources, and has other impacts as well.
And it doesn't change the insulin, doesn't change.
Not direct effect in insulin or involved in that. But there are some insulin benefits, we believe, with the weight loss.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you actually trusting pharma with your target on the CDA? Because I'm not very good, even with the CDA.
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds like a really exciting opportunity.
yeah. I think the lesson I think I've learned in the last few years, you have to share. You literally can't raise money without talking to people. What we did was we went to the obvious players first, because the logic was that they will already know. They will already know about all the targets. They'll have looked at all of them. And they wouldn't be as big a problem. And that was a good strategy. Now we're reaching out quite broadly to investors. We have to disclose the target if you want to raise money. And we're also now talking to a broad range of pharma, VCs, pharma companies, because we want competition. So where we're at now, we're starting to see if we can get competing rounds, syndicates. So yeah, you just have to share. There's no way around it.
What's your patient population? Because of course, one of the ways that you can fight that muscle wastage is to do more exercise. So are you going for those patients that are so large they just can't exercise?
Yeah, that's a good question. People don't exercise. I mean, I think that one of the variants, I mean, people doctors have been trying to encourage us all to eat healthier and do more exercise for like 50, 60 years now. And it hasn't worked because we're human. And we're in an environment with lots of donuts. And we want to eat those donuts, and a lot of people don't really want to do exercise. So I think there's a large population you could treat. The obvious niche populations are maybe the elderly, where muscle loss, though it might not come back as easily. I think the young people, that might not be such a problem. And then diabetic patients, your muscle is super important as an insulin sensitization tissue. If you lose muscle, it's potentially really dangerous actually for someone with type 2 diabetes. So so we think there will be niches, and the market will naturally fragment. Having talked to a few pharma companies, we think the obvious product is a oral combo with an oral GLP-1 to get people's weight down rapidly. And then at some point there will be maintenance treatments that come out so that people switch to that are more suitable long term. So I think we're hoping we'll be that combo and get that bigger market share.